For decades, the Philippines was known for smoggy cities and blackouts. Coal was king. Old photos show Manila's skyline, blurred by pollution, and neighborhoods dark during power shortages. In 2010, almost half the country's electricity came from coal-fired plants. The islands imported most of their coal, feeling the pressure of rising global prices and harsh health impacts. But the Philippines is changing. The government has set a bold target. By 2040, they want half of all electricity to come from renewable sources. This is no small feat for an island nation of over 7,000 islands. The world watched skeptically at first. How could a developing country stretched across the Pacific lead Asia in clean energy? The story is not just about goals, it is about action. In the last decade, the Philippines has slashed coal dependence and built a new reputation, one powered by the sun, wind, and Earth's heat. People now see solar panels on rooftops in Cebu and wind turbines spinning above Ilocos Norte's beaches. This transformation did not happen overnight. It took smart policy, private investment, and bold decisions to move from coal clouds to clean skies. Deep underground, the Philippines holds a secret, boiling hot rocks and steam. These geothermal treasures have powered the islands for decades. The country is now the world's second biggest producer of geothermal energy, right after the United States. In 2023, almost 10% of all Philippine electricity came from geothermal plants. Tapping geothermal energy means drilling deep wells to capture steam and hot water. This steam spins turbines, creating clean, steady electricity all day and night. Places like Leyte and Negros Island are famous for their geothermal fields. These areas have kept the lights on during typhoons and fuel shortages because geothermal energy doesn't depend on the weather. Why does this matter? Asia's growing economies often rely on imported coal and oil, but the Philippines is different. Its geothermal plants are local and stable, making the country less vulnerable to global fuel prices and supply shocks. This is a big reason why the Philippines has led the way in renewables. Geothermal energy also creates jobs for local communities and helps keep electricity prices more stable. This steady backbone gives the Philippines confidence to invest in even more renewables. How did the Philippines jumpstart its clean energy revolution? The answer lies in three key policies. First, the Renewable Energy Act of 2008 changed the game. This law gave tax breaks and fixed rates to anyone who invested in solar, wind, hydro, or geothermal power. It created a feed-in tariff system that guaranteed profits for green energy producers. Next came the Green Energy Auction Program, or GAP. This program let the government buy renewable energy from private companies at competitive prices. By 2023, the auctions brought in hundreds of new solar and wind projects. Suddenly, clean energy was not just for big companies, it became a business opportunity for many. The biggest shift came in 2022. The government removed all restrictions on foreign ownership in the renewable energy sector. Now, companies from Europe, the United States, and Asia could invest fully in Philippine solar, wind, and hydro projects. Billions of dollars flowed in almost overnight, speeding up construction and bringing new technology. These policies did not just attract money, they sent a message. The Philippines is serious about being Asia's new energy powerhouse. Drive north to Ilocos Norte, and you will see huge white wind turbines along the coast. The Bungi Wind Farm, one of Asia's first, now supplies enough electricity for tens of thousands of homes. Meanwhile, in Batangas and Pampanga, fields once used for sugarcane now shine with rows of solar panels. One of the biggest solar farms is in Nueva Ecija. This solar mega project will soon power over 100,000 homes and is run by a private Filipino company, Solar Philippines. International investors like Denmark's Copenhagen Infrastructure Partners are building offshore wind farms near Mindoro. These will use giant turbines floating in the sea, capturing strong ocean winds. The numbers are climbing fast. In 2023 alone, solar capacity grew almost 50% and wind power doubled. These projects do more than make electricity. They create jobs, boost local economies, and inspire other Southeast Asian countries to follow. With each new project, the Philippines shifts further from coal and closer to a cleaner, more reliable power future. The clean energy revolution is not just a government story. Private companies are driving much of the change. Filipino businesses like Aboitiz Power and AC Energy are building wind and solar farms across the islands. Foreign investors are bringing in new money and technology. Partnerships with Japanese, Danish, and American firms are now common. Why are businesses interested? There is a growing demand from Filipino consumers for greener, cheaper power. Companies want to cut their carbon footprint. International banks and investors are now more willing to fund renewable projects, seeing them as less risky and more profitable than coal. Big private projects are making headlines. In Rizal, a 150-megawatt solar farm by Solar Philippines started powering homes in 2024. In Ilocos, AC Energy's wind farms have become landmarks, attracting tourists as well as investors. Still, the private sector faces hurdles: high upfront costs, complex permits, and the challenge of connecting to the main grid. But their role is crucial. Without business, the Philippines could not reach 50% renewables by 2040. The Philippines' geography makes its energy transformation unique and tough. More than 7,000 islands mean thousands of separate communities, many far from the main grid. Some remote islands still rely on noisy, expensive diesel generators. Power lines must cross mountains and seas, raising costs and causing frequent blackouts. Electricity in the Philippines is among the most expensive in Asia. Building new infrastructure takes time and money. Even as solar and wind prices fall, the cost of connecting distant islands remains high. Typhoons and earthquakes add more risk, often knocking out power lines and damaging plants. Grid stability is a real concern. Renewable energy from the sun and wind can be unpredictable. Clouds, storms, or calm days can reduce supply. This puts pressure on old grids designed for steady coal power. Despite these hurdles, the government and private sector are looking for new solutions to bring clean power to every corner of the country. One answer to the Philippines' energy puzzle is the microgrid. These small, local grids use solar panels, wind turbines, and batteries to power remote villages. They are cheaper and more reliable than diesel, and they can work even when typhoons knock out the main grid. In Palawan, microgrids now supply electricity to isolated fishing towns. The energy company Wigen has installed solar battery systems in schools and health clinics, keeping lights on during storms. These projects are changing lives. Children can study at night, and doctors can store vaccines safely. Battery storage is another key. Giant lithium batteries can store solar and wind power for use at night or during bad weather. In 2024, the Philippines launched its largest battery project in Mindanao, helping stabilize the grid and reduce blackouts. Microgrids and storage are showing the world that clean energy can reach even the most remote places. The Philippines used to be seen as an energy underdog, coal-heavy, disaster-prone, and gridlocked by geography. Now it is setting a new example for Asia and the world. By blending old strengths like geothermal with new technologies like solar, wind, and batteries, the country is proving that big change is possible. Smart policies, private investment, and community innovation are powering this transformation. The 2040 goal, 50% renewables, is ambitious, but within reach. With every island that lights up with clean energy, the Philippines inspires its neighbors. Energy transition is not only necessary, it is possible. The Philippines' secret rise is no longer a secret. It is a model of hope, showing that even the most complex challenges can be solved with courage, creativity, and a commitment to a cleaner future.